Ken Whiting with Paddle TV with yet another in-depth kayak review. And in this video, I am reviewing the Delta 12AR, a recreational sit-inside kayak that is designed to provide easy entry and all-day comfort, according to them. But I'm gonna get this thing on the water and test it for myself and let you know what I think of it. But first, let me tell you a bit more about it. Delta Kayaks 12AR retails for $1,400 US. It's 12 feet long, it's 26.5 inches wide. It weighs only 42 pounds or 19 kilos. And it has a max capacity of 320 pounds or 145 kilos. Its primary use is for flatwater paddling. The boat features an extra large cockpit, 2 fully enclosed hatches and 2 bulkheads, Delta's contour seat system, adjustable foot pegs, a unique displacement hull that fuses into a catamaran-style hull, deck bungees on the stern, and like all Delta boats, it comes with a 3-year warranty. Well, this is a pretty slick looking package. I love Delta's colors. All of their colors just pop. But I'm not reviewing its colorway and its appearances. I'm reviewing how this thing actually performs, really to discover who is this for and what kind of value does it deliver. So time to get it on the water and take her for a test. Ooh. Well, that was a fun paddle. Every paddle I do these days is actually really fun because I had to take an 8-month break from paddling because of a shoulder injury. I just started paddling again and every time I go out, I'm grinning ear to ear. Love it. Anyway, let's talk about the Delta 12AR. And I'm gonna start like I usually do with portability. This is a 12-foot long kayak. And something I've always said is that kayaks that are 12 feet and under are very manageable for a single person to just get around, transport on a vehicle, to carry to the water. The longer a kayak gets beyond 12 feet, the more awkward and unwieldy it becomes. And so 12 feet is a good manageable size, combined with the fact that it's only 42 pounds. That's light for a 12-foot kayak. And the reason it's that light is because of how it was built. It's thermoformed. Most kayaks are plastic kayaks that are rotomolded, and the equivalent boat rotomolded is about 20% heavier. So it's going to be around a 50-pound boat. That might not sound like a big difference, but it is a big difference when you're carrying it around solo, when the weight is distributed the way it is. So performance-wise, this boat has a really unique hull, what they call their fusion hull. It starts with what they call a displacement hull and a strong bow keel that's designed to just cut through the water. But then it transitions into a catamaran style hull, which is really neat. And the idea behind that is the bow cuts through the water so it maintains speed and tracking, but then that catamaran style hull at the back provides a lot of stability. Here's what I can tell you. The catamaran hull in the back definitely provided stability. When I tried to tilt the boat on edge, it would start tipping and then boom, it was like I hit this wall and I got rejected. It didn't want me to flip. And that's great news for, for entry-level paddlers or even experienced paddlers who just want to avoid flipping at all costs. Now, typically, stability comes at the cost of speed, forward speed, and forward speed comes at the cost of stability. So with this boat being that stable, how is it speed-wise? Well, it's not a wide boat. It's only 26.5 inches wide. And so that helps its speed. Also, that strong bow keel cutting through the water, that really helps it track and in carry speed, not to mention the way these kayaks are made, the thermoformed kayaks. One of the big benefits of them, aside from being lightweight, is that they're stiff. They act more like a composite kayak, like a carbon Kevlar kayak, and they just glide really nicely through the water. And so this thing carries good speed despite how much great stability it has. Now, if it didn't have the catamaran style hull, could it be a little bit faster? I think it probably could a little bit, but in my opinion, any speed they did give up is grossly outweighed by the amount of stability this thing gained. Overall, great balance of speed and stability. Maneuverability wise, it's 12 feet long. It's easy to turn this thing around, even though as a rule, when you tilt a boat on edge, it's easier to spin that kayak. It'll turn more effectively. This boat doesn't like going over on a hard edge, so you can't put the turning boosters onto this boat, but that's not what this boat is for. This boat isn't for hard edging and rough waters and paddling in conditions where you need to make aggressive turns. This is a flatwater kayak. Now let's talk about comfort. First of all, the one big feature here is the extra large cockpit. And the wonderful thing about an extra large cockpit is your legs are free to move around. You can even swing your legs over the side of the kayak. Very comfortable just by nature. On top of that, it has foot pedals. So that helps, not only helps you paddle better, but it actually holds your leg in a nice position. So that helps with comfort. The contoured seat system is fantastic. And the seating system that I actually have here isn't the one for 2025 because I got this boat at the end of last season. The new seating system actually has a cool system. There's a retro kit for it that I haven't installed yet for this, but it provides support under the thighs that you control. And this was comfortable. This is a really nice seat already. With that system, I think it's going to be fantastic. It also has a back band that is adjustable up and down, so you can kick it up and put yourself in lounge mode or drop it down, have it in lower back and provide good support for paddling. So all in all, definitely a comfortable boat. Now I'm 6'2", 34-inch inseam. The foot pegs aren't at the very end. There's still room to go there. And so this is probably going to be plenty of space for someone up to 6'5" and 36-inch inseam, I would say. It helps that the seat actually moves forward and back very easily without screws or anything. They got a really cool system for doing that too, so that not only can you move the seat back to give a taller, longer person more room, but also for different body sizes, you can move that seat position to trim the boat correctly. You really want a boat to be flat as possible. If you're sitting too far back and the bow is up and the stern's down, you're going to be plowing more water. Similarly, if you're too far forward, having this system allows you to really dial in the trim. Now, to be honest, most people put it in the middle and it will be fine. You don't really have to worry about the trim of a boat like this, but it is nice to be able to fine tune it if you need to. Now, durability. One of the downsides of thermoformed kayaks is they simply aren't as durable as a rotomolded plastic kayak. They're lighter weight, they feel better, they look better, and they're stiffer and they glide better through the water, but they're not as durable as a rotomolded boat. And so it doesn't mean they're fragile. It just means you do have to take care with a boat like this. For example, when I'm going to transport this on my roof racks, I'm going to want to pad my roof racks ideally. You can get away without doing it, but it's really better to pad the roof racks. And there's simple ways to do that. You can get actual pads from the roof rack manufacturers. One of the easiest ways to pad a roof rack is to get a pool noodle. Costs like $5, and then you just split it down the middle and then you can wrap it over your roof rack systems. Anyway, you do need to take care of it a little bit. You're not going to drag this thing across a parking lot. You can get away with dragging it across grass, but just take care of it. Don't bang it hard into rocks. It's okay if it slides over rocks. but you don't want to be slamming anything because it can break. Now, features. This thing doesn't have a ton of features, and that's not a bad thing. In fact, I tend to prefer kayaks that are low on features because I don't use a lot of the features. And if I really want something, you can always add it later. There's really cool systems like the company Kayak makes all sorts of cool accessories to accessorize a kayak if you want to add things like paddle holders and maybe you like it for fishing rod holders and fish finders and all sorts of cell phone holders, things like that. But what this does have is really nice features. Bulkheads. It has two bulkheads, a bulkhead in front of your feet and a bulkhead behind the seat. Now, a bulkhead is a wall inside the kayak that separates the kayak into 3 different compartments. So if you do flip, only the center of the kayak, the cockpit area, is going to fill with water. The bow and the stern section are separated by these waterproof, watertight bulkheads, and they're going to hold air. That makes it so much easier to deal with a swamped boat because it's still got a ton of flotation. Easier to swim it to shore, tow it to shore, do on-water rescues, whatever you need to do. So bulkheads are a real safety bonus. But the other thing that they're great for, this one has hatch up front and a hatch in the back to access that space as storage area. Now, this boat has a lot of storage area, a surprising amount of storage space, which means this would be a decent boat for kayak camping because you can take quite a bit of gear. Now, you can't take as much gear as you could take in a longer, bigger touring or sea kayak that's designed for multi-day trips, but you can still, this is definitely a good kayak camping boat. It's also good for storage for other things. If you like to go fishing or photography, whatever. It's a great platform for all those things because of the big cockpit area. Now that really brings us to the next question of who is this kayak for? And I really just started naming off some of the people this kayak is for. It is a kayak for flatwater. This is a kayak that is designed to stick to calm bodies of water that are protected from strong wind and big waves that can be generated by the wind, or rivers that have only very mild current and only very small waves. Because the cockpit is so big on this thing, it's easy for this thing to get swamped. Now it has a cockpit rim. You could get an extra large skirt to fit on this thing, but don't get it for that reason. I really don't think there's too much point in doing that. It's really the only reason to do that is to stop splashes and drips to get on your legs. And some people might want to do that, but it doesn't allow you to deal with rougher conditions. This is a flatwater boat. So you need to be someone who is only going to be paddling in sheltered bodies of water. But apart from that, it is wide open to who can use this. A beginner kayaker can love this thing. An experienced paddler would also really enjoy it because it does travel very well. It's a really nice platform for fishing, great for photography, videography. I mean, it is very much an all-around recreational kayak, and it actually goes hand in hand. The reason why this boat is called the 12AR, it's 12 Adventure Recreational Kayak. It's designed to be, you could say, kind of the SUV of recreational kayaks. And I think they've done a great job of creating that platform. Anything from kayak camping to, you name it. So now let's talk about value. $1,400 US. Yeah, it's a chunk of change. But is it good value? And very simple answer to that, it's wonderful value. And I don't say that very often. You could get a comparable rotomolded plastic kayak for a little less than this, but you're getting a heavier boat. You're getting a boat that doesn't paddle as well. It just doesn't feel as good paddling. On the flip side, you are going to get a more durable boat. But $1,400 for this boat is a really good deal, even though it's a good chunk of change. Can you get cheaper 12-foot recreational kayaks? Yes, you can. What are you going to give up? You're going to give up definitely weight. You're going to be getting a heavier boat. You're going to be giving up features like the bulkheads, 2 bulkheads and 2 hatches, and the ability to really have a good kayak camping boat and good reliable storage. The comfort, a seating system, solid foot pegs. These are all things that you give up when you spend less on a recreational kayak. Doesn't mean that it's for everyone. Obviously, this is a kayak that's designed for someone who's willing to pay a little premium for a lightweight recreational kayak. It's for someone who doesn't need an ultra durable kayak. They're okay taking care of a thermoformed kayak. And it's for someone who is going to stick to flatwater paddling, whatever they might do on the flatwater. Well, I hope that has helped guide you in your buying decision. Really impressed with this boat. I was really impressed with the first Delta Kayak that I tested. I think that was 2 years ago. I tested the 15.5 GT. It's a touring kayak that, you know what, I'm gonna leave a link in the description box down below, because that is a very different kayak from this, but it might be more appropriate for some of you. And I really enjoyed that kayak as well. So thanks for watching. Give the video a thumbs up, and well, if you did like it, subscribe to Paddle TV if you haven't already, and stay tuned. Lots more paddling gear reviews, tips, and adventures coming your way.